for the people who weren't able to make it. But thank you so much for joining me today. I love doing these women's masterclasses and really helping to share information that can help you get clarity on who you are, what it is that you want, and then strategies that can help you get there. And one of the things that tends to prevent us from getting there is self-sabotage. You know, sometimes we get in our own ways and we don't even know it. And I was the queen of that for so long, and I've retired my tiara. And I want to share what I learned to help me get out of my own way. So let me share my screen and take you through some strategies that can really help you get clarity on what is next for you and how you might go about getting it and getting out of your own way. So again, I am Debbie Peterson. I am so happy to have you here today. And where I'd like to start is I would just love for you to imagine what it would be like if you weren't being pulled in every different direction, that you know, you had a certainty inside of what you were supposed to do and how you were supposed to get there, and a certainty that's aligned with who you are, so that you're working with yourself, not working against yourself in your leadership and life. Because it's a different place when you have unburdened yourself of stories of the past and that pressure that we tend to wake up in the morning and put the cape of pressure back on with everything that we have to accomplish. So, you know, helping you to get clarity of your potential and how you can achieve it. And imagine when you have that, how everything changes. So what I'm going to share with you now and how this is going to work today is that I am going to, whoop, we got a little bit of noise on the line, so I'll mute. And so what I'm going to share are strategies. I'm going to share a framework that I have created that really helped me to show up in a different way in my leadership and in my life. And I want to give you an opportunity also at the end that if you want to stay on and you want to chat a bit and I can help you with some strategies specific to you, I extend an invitation to you for that as well. So the framework that I'm going to share with you today is, you know, it is the way that I make a promise to add value for you, to be able to support you in what it is that you want. Again, being willing to ask your questions, to be there, or answer your questions, be there for you, and share whatever I can to help. But, you know, kind of the problem is that we take care of everyone. We take care of everyone. We take care of everything. We are the glue that holds things together. We are the ones that keep the wheels on the bus and keep things moving. And therefore, because we're so good at it, more people come to us because we're just so efficient and effective. But the issue can be that with, you know, kids and family and parents and working from home and then returning to work, and is it safe, and the stress and anxiety that we tend to carry, at some point it can push us over the edge. So the dream is that we live in this place that's a little more calm and conducive to what we are, that we have a confidence in ourselves and in our ability to reach that place that we feel that we can achieve, that we know who we are, that we know what we stand for, that we know what we want, and it creates a meaningful life. And it allows us to lead ourselves first. That self-leadership piece is so important, and also lead others, whether that is, and let me just specify this or preface this, is that, you know, leadership, you say the word leadership and people immediately think C-suite, executive, corner office, name on the door. And that's not it. All of us have leadership tendencies, because where it starts was first how we lead ourselves. It is you as a leader in your family. It is you as a leader in a community. It is you showing up for a nonprofit that tugs at your heart and contribute your leadership skills there. So expanding your view of leadership is part of that dream of becoming, you know, who it is that you are. But again, the reality is that we got a lot going on. We have a lot of people that want our time. We can be so busy taking action, making it happen, just, figuring out and Rubik's cubing, how am I going to get to the next level when we don't even have clarity on what the next level is? And what happens is that without even knowing it, we are sabotaging ourselves. And that is why it was so important for me to do this masterclass on this particular topic, because I was the one who was the most in my own way. And I discovered a way forward. And I want to share that with you because, your reality, your current reality may be that it's, the mindset is just a hamster wheel of worry and anxiety. It could be that, not knowing what's next, not knowing what's going to fulfill you, or not having a direction, just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks isn't necessarily a good strategy or one that's intentional. And it can be undermining us. It can be sabotaging us, or even the obstacles that get in our way that we let stop us instead of figuring the way around them. And there's a way to move forward with this. So the solution is that, it's like making the decision, okay, enough with self-sabotage. I want to figure out my way forward. And that is the framework that we're going to share today. But first of all, why listen to me? Well, as I shared in the beginning, I was the queen of just getting in my own way. It was in my corporate life where I had this desire to do more, to show up in a bigger way, to contribute at another level, to move into leadership. And I just could not, with everything that I tried, figure out how to make that happen. And long story short, it really caused me a lot of stress and anxiety, and so much stress and anxiety that I was having heart palpitations and numbness in my left hand. I was not sleeping, just emotions that were always on that, the cup is full and one more thing just sends you over the edge, just so emotional like that. And I thought, this is not the way I want to lead my life. And what happened next was that I went to a training. And I figured out how I was in my way the most. And that was my NLP training. So I am a certified practitioner at the master practitioner level of NLP. And let me tell you, NLP, the quick of it is neuro-linguistic programming. So neuro is the mind, linguistic is language, programming are your habits and your strategies. So it is literally the language of the mind that governs your results. So if you are doing and getting what you want, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if you're not getting the results that you want, then something needs to change, and it needs to change here first. So this is the foundation of where we build it. And in addition, I am also a student of Huna. Huna is a form of Hawaiian spiritualism. It is how you connect to your higher self. I've been posting a lot lately about wisdom from your highest and best self. These are the things that resonate with you, that inspire you. And I use all of my training to help support busy women leaders just like you and emerging leaders to find their next level with more success and less sacrifice. That is the goal. And so I've created a framework to make it easy, to make it consumable for you to be able to go through this process yourself. And that's what we're going to cover today. So the first of which is your mindset. So I'm going to touch on each one of these briefly, and then I'm going to dive a little deeper into them. I'm also going to put up the chat. And if you've got anything, any questions, any comments, I would love to hear from you in the chat. But the first piece is your mindset. So I want you to consider this. 95% of your thoughts are unconscious during the day. So that means that 95% of the things that you think about, you don't even know you're thinking about. They just happen in the unconscious, right? And they're things that you have repeatedly done. And therefore, like any other habit, your mind has made a habit of it. And once you get that habit going, it goes down to the unconscious and you don't have to think about it. So brushing your teeth in the morning is unconscious. Driving your car, a lot of times you had things on your mind. And by the time you get to your destination, you're like, wow, that went quick, right? Because you weren't you were driving, but you were driving unconsciously, and that's okay. We all do it. But there are all of these things that we do without knowing it. And that's the majority, the biggest piece of our day. But the danger in that is that there are strategies that work for you, that help you move forward. And there are strategies that work against you and hold you back. And both, you aren't aware that they're happening. So that means that the majority of your thoughts you don't know you're having, meaning that you are making decisions based on thoughts you don't know you're having. And then you are taking action based on decisions, based on thoughts you don't even know you're having. And that's why things can go downhill pretty quickly without you even know it, because this is going on in the background. And so bringing this into the light is important, to have you be aware of your mindset. And so, just understanding that that is a piece of it. Passion, what do you want? Who are you at your essence? Because that is the foundation that your leadership gets amplified from, in whatever way you're leading, whether it's leading your family or a nonprofit or a corporate environment or a team, or even in your own business. However you lead, the person that you are is the foundation of that. And so are you solid in your foundation is a big piece of who you are. And that ties into your passion. What is it that you want that is next for you? You may be in a place where you're in a role and you like the role, but you're ready to go to the next level, but you're not sure what that is, or you're not sure how you're going to get there. Getting clarity on that. You may be in a place that's not a good fit for you. Maybe after this pandemic, it's been, peace out. What I thought I wanted isn't what I want anymore, but yet I don't know what I want. And so getting clarity on that what is really important. Having a good plan. So once you've got direction, you've got to be able to do something with it. There's an easier way for you to have it mapped out, that you know what you need to be doing every day, every week, every month, every quarter, etc., to progressively move towards what you want. So how do you build a plan that allows you to get there? We'll be covering that. Planning. People. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you need to go with others, because you don't create it all by yourself. So the people that help you, that is a piece of it. And then finally, performance. What gets in the way? What gets in the way of you getting what you want? And we're going to dive into that just a little bit. So let's start with mindset. So again, 95% of your thoughts are unconscious. There are all kinds of things that you do every day that you don't realize it. And the thing is that if you're not getting the results that you want, then examining what it is that's going on in the unconscious is absolutely a priority, because you can be trying strategies that other people are employing and it's working for them and it's not working for you, and you're getting frustrated and you don't know why. That's an indicator that probably there are some things that are going on, and perhaps you're getting in your own way, that there is an element of self-sabotage that isn't serving you well. So having that ability to dive into your mindset and seeing where it goes, seeing what goes underneath it. I'll give you an example. Very recently, I had a call and realized that I was in a bit of a victim mindset. It was kind of, why them? Why not me? It was taking things very personally. And I thought, oh, wow. Once I realized that that's where my head was, you create things from the mindset that you're in. What is going through your head, the attitude that you have, the environment that is in your head, is that what you create. So you're putting that energy into what you're putting out into the world, what you're putting, even cooking a meal, what is going through your head while you're cooking that meal, that's the energy you're putting into the meal. And so what is going through your head about your career, around your business, around your life, around your children and your family, that energy is going into that relationship or that endeavor. And so that's why mindset is so critically important. And awareness is the first key. Catching it is key. So the strategy for this, for mindset, is that when you catch yourself thinking that way, that's a win. Even if it's a negative thought, it's a win. Challenging it, understanding what is underneath this way of thinking, and what is that doing for you? Because it's probably not leading you to the direction or in the direction that you want to go. And then changing it, figuring out, where do I want to go instead? What is it that I want to create instead of what I don't want to create? So employing that strategy when it comes to your mindset, catch it, challenge it, change it. And hopefully that's a good tool for you. Next, I want to move into passion. So again, the energy from which we create is what we put into whatever we're creating. And when we are creating a career, a business, when we're creating our own personal leadership in life, having passion for what it is that we do, being engaged with where we spend the majority of our day, if that's at work or if that's somewhere else, making sure that it's aligned with you, that it's lifting you up, that it's not pulling you down. And so the question becomes, what is it that you want next? And so what I would encourage you to do is make a list. How many things can you come up with that you are passionate about, so that you have a feeling for, that you are connected with, that are out in front of you in your life, whether it's in your work or it's in your personal life? You're still one person. I think a lot of what happens when we feel a lot of stress and anxiety, this is my opinion, is that we forget the joy. We're so focused on the job that the joy gets sucked out of our lives. And so in creating whatever is next, thinking about the things that lift you up, what brings you joy in your leadership and in your life. You've got to have both. And so here's the challenge for you. This weekend, perhaps you've got some extra time because we've got a holiday weekend, right? Get a piece of paper and list out as many things as you can about what brings you joy in your leadership and your life. What is next? What is out in front of you in your career, your business, whatever the case may be? Quantity over quality. Create the biggest list that you can. And when you do, email me back. Email me at debbie@gettingtoclarity.com, because I would love to hear what you have going on. Okay. And in exchange for that, I will send you a copy of my book, Clarity: How Smart Professionals Create Career Success on Their Terms. So email me back. I'd love to hear from you, what it is that you've got going on, and I will make sure that you get a digital copy of my book so that you can do some more exploring. So tapping into this, what is passion for you? And making sure that you know what is out in front of you and how you can tap into that. So once you have this list of things that you're passionate about, it's really it's prioritizing and putting a plan together. What is going to be first on that list? What are you going to put your efforts into the most? Because as busy women leaders, aspiring leaders, people who just lead in our lives, we get things done. And that means when we make a list, we're going to look at that list and say, okay, I got to get it all done. And then we're going to start feeling that stress again. And that is not helpful to you. That is one of the ways that you sabotage yourself, is that you try to take it all on. So once you've made that list, figure out what comes out on top and then putting a plan around it. And one of the tools that I use with my clients is an organizational chart. So if you have ever pictured an organizational chart, at the top is the president's spot, right? The president, the CEO, that's they're at the top of the chart. That would be whatever your goal is, whatever it is that you are pursuing next. And what you need to do is keep chunking it down by category and task and project until you get to very specific, I can check it off, I've done it sort of items. When you take the time to map all of that out, you will have focus. You will have clarity of direction. You will know what it is that you want to put your time and effort into. Instead of it being everything, it's going to be the right thing for you. So that is one of the ways that you can help unburden yourself, is by simply having a plan. So picture an organizational chart and just keep chunking it down until you get to very specific tasks, and that will help you move forward. Whatever it is that you don't do by yourself. And I remember one of the ways that I held myself back the most when I was in my corporate environment and I felt that I had something more for me. I had something out in front of me. I was meant to contribute in a bigger way. One of the biggest ways I was getting in my own way was that I thought I had to do it all by myself, because I was in a place where I was stuck and I was frustrated and I didn't know what to do. And in my mind, I wasn't having success. I had shame around that nobody could know that I didn't have it figured out, that people would think less of me if they knew that I was struggling, that it would be a competitive disadvantage to admit that. And so I just told myself I needed to suck it up, buttercup. I needed to power through it. I was a strong woman. I would figure it out. And don't pay attention to the woman behind the curtain. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong here. And that takes a whole lot of energy. And one of the reasons that I wore myself down and ended up on high blood pressure medicine, migraine medicine, and anti-anxiety medicine by the time I was 40. One mad, miserable, and medicated woman. So I don't want that for you. Letting other people in, letting people help you will eliminate that way of you sabotaging yourself. So thinking about who are the people that support you, who are the people that are in your inner circle, that are there for you day in and day out, that are the steadies. And if not everybody that, you're the average of the top 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's law of averages. It's not magic. It's law of averages. And if they aren't supporting you, then they're wearing you down. And every once in a while, that inner circle that we have, we kind of need to shift it up a little bit, right? Things need to change out a little bit, but making sure that you strive to thrive with 5. Who are the 5 people that can serve in that inner circle capacity for you, and you can serve for them? In addition to that, going outside of that inner circle, depending on what it is that you want next in your life, in your career, in your leadership, in your business, it doesn't matter. Who are the people who can help you? Reaching out to say, I need advice and guidance, mentors, sponsors. Once you have clarity of what it is that you want, what direction you're heading in, then you can easily see the people who have already done it, and you can tap into them as well. How did you do it? What advice and guidance do you have? You can learn from them. You don't have to reinvent the whole wheel. And that is such an easier place to be. So considering who are the people who are going to help you get what you want. Thinking about making a list, make that list of 5. You can connect. It is so easy to connect with people now. These can be people who are in your family, that they are colleagues, that they are in social groups that you're in, that you find them on LinkedIn. People love to help other people. And so finding the people who can help you, that you will let help you. And then that puts you in a place to be able to serve, servant leadership, and be able to help others, because you already know how to do it. And therefore you can set that example. So think about the people that can help support you in whatever is next, and making a list. So the last piece that I want to chat with you about is, okay, say for instance, you are in a place where you have that clarity of direction. Okay. You understand what it is that you want. You know how it fits with who you are. You know how it is aligned as far as a decision moving forward. Then you've got a plan. So, you're taking it and it's actionable. You know what you need to be doing. You're making some progress. You've got people to help you. So you've gotten by the, I'm doing it all by myself, and have leaned in and now have people that can help you. What gets in the way? And I would love to hear from you in the chat. When you consider what it is that you want most in your leadership, in your life, in your career, in your business, what gets in the way of your efforts most? Can you put it in the chat? I would love to hear from you. What gets in the way? Because a lot of times I ask this question of all my audiences and I will get an answer, and they will tell me that it's fear. That might be something that you're thinking about. Fear of success. Yes. And I love that, that you shared that, because, a lot of times it's fear of failure. But sometimes, we let ourselves start leaning into showing up in a bigger way. And it's kind of like, oh my goodness, what if this really happens? And, what will I do? Can I handle it? And you start backtracking on all of that great energy that you've put out there. And this is how it happens. Yes, fear of rejection, another one. When it comes to manifestation, I just want to share this with you quickly. You are drawing energy from source and saying that, this is something that I'm inspired by. And so that energy starts showing up in your reality, and you start thinking about it and you get excited. And so it amplifies that energy. It puts it out there. And then you start thinking about, holy cow, what if that happens? Can I handle this? Do I have the bandwidth? Is this going to affect my life? Is this going to, and that energy just starts shrinking again. You pull it back in. And so that's why the mindset is so important. And the same thing for fear of rejection. It's what we plant in our mind is a seed. This is what I want to find. And that's the power of your unconscious mind. It can be just a powerhouse, finding you what it is that you need to advance and whatever that means for you. But you give it instruction. And so if it's fear of success or it's fear of failure, they both can get in the way and sabotage you. It can be procrastinating for some reason. I don't know why I always procrastinate when it comes to doing this. There's something underneath there and you're not even aware of it. Therefore, you're being sabotaged by something you don't even know about. It could be, I hear things like limiting beliefs, self-doubt. Every once in a while, I hear a spouse or other people. But mostly the things that can get in the most in the way reside within ourselves. And so thinking about what is tripping you up. And again, go through those 3 C's: that catch it, challenge it, and change it. Catch it and figure out, okay, you're aware of it, challenge it. What's underneath it? And then change it. What is it that you want to move forward toward? And so thinking about that when the obstacles come. So what I would like to know is, what would it look like for you to be able to identify that next level, to be able to give yourself that space to think about, okay, who am I? What is next for me? What is important to me? What is it that I want to create that means more success for me and less sacrifice to the rest of my life? Because there's a trade. But does it have to be such a huge trade? Does it have to feel so oppressive? And so thinking about going through this system, mapping this out about what this might look like for you, and if you are in a place where you want some support in creating a plan, if you want a community to support you, if you want to discover your own answers, because at some level, you really do know what you want to do. It's inside. There is not anything anybody outside can tell you. It is what is inside, and it's uncovering what that is. So you have your own answers. So if this is something that you want to take the time to do, or perhaps the hamster wheel's an okay ride for now, but if this is something that you would like to do, then I would love to have a conversation with you to see if there's a way that I can support you on your way forward. And you can go to claritywithdebbie.com and hop on me. My calendar. I'll support you the best way that I can, share any strategies that might be helpful. And with that, what questions do you have about what this looks like moving forward for you? we've got some time here. How is it that I can support you on whatever may be next for you?